It's your host McEdam here. Welcome to the first review of this massive marathon. Today we'll be looking at The Beginning, which is a 2013 Big Finish audio drama in its companion Chronicles range, which is when they get one of the actresses or actors who played the companion to do like an audio book from their point of view. And as you can probably guess, if you're a Doctor Who fan, this one is centered around Susan Foreman. It's performed by Carole Ann Ford, the actress who played Susan in 1963, which is really cool. It also has Terry Malone as a new character called Qui-Gon something. Stoyn, that's one. Qui-Gon Stoyn, really weird. Before I begin, I want to show you something. I made a DVD cover of this. I just thought it was really cool. I thought I'd just show you it all. This story details the Doctor's first adventure in the TARDIS. Now, if you were hoping for a story that details into the more mysterious side, you're going to be disappointed. This is mainly just another adventure that just so happens to be the first. So the Doctor and Susan run from Gallifrey, and you see that in the opening. It describes, the way she describes it, it's, you actually hear, well you don't hear, but you actually get the scene from Name of the Doctor where they run away. And this story reveals that they weren't the only ones in the TARDIS. There was another Time Lord there, or by this time, they didn't actually call themselves, they did call themselves Time Lords, but not narratively. It's just our people. In this story, we get introduced to Quadrigger Stoyn, if I remember his name correctly, played by Terry Malone, and he is strange. He's not really a villain. He's like the antagonist of the story, but he's not the villain. He seems like his character is really, paranoid, and him being paranoid in certain situations is what gets our characters into trouble. So the first planet the TARDIS lands is this mysterious, what seems like to be like a mythical jungle at first, and it's described very beautifully. Carole Ann Ford does a fantastic job. Oh, I forgot to mention, like I said, this is my first review, so sorry if it's all over the place. But this story is written by Marc Platt. Now, Marc Platt is a fantastic Doctor Who writer. His life is very interesting. He's only written for Doctor Who. Now that's strange, isn't it? Because normally, like, people are like, they find themselves way into like smaller projects and then get into Doctor Who. Marc Platt only wanted to write for Doctor Who, and he did in the classic series for one story called Ghostlight, which I will be getting to, hopefully. So in this jungle, they meet the Argons, I believe it's pronounced. I know, even though I've just heard it, it's a very hard to pronounce word. I'll probably put it down somewhere. Which are these liquid creatures which describe as constantly rippling, and one of them takes the form of Stoyn, and Stoyn, being a very paranoid person, does not like this at all, and you can see it in Terry Malone's character, that he transforms into him, and he's like, I don't like it. Tell him to stop doing it. And you can see, so that was very interesting. I've just realised I haven't talked about the Doctor much. Carole Ann Ford tries to do a William Hartnell impression. Now, of course, it doesn't sound anything like William Hartnell, but she does get that personality. She does do the lot of that William Hartnell is known for. William Hartnell, of course, played the First Doctor, and this story is a First Doctor story, which is pretty obvious. And in this story, he's very, I wouldn't say childlike, but he's much more, what's the word? He's much more positive than his TV counterpart. That might be just because he hasn't had like battles with some of his greatest foes yet. He has a great thirst for adventure. Like when they leave the TARDIS for the first time, he's so excited, you can hear it, and they're taking photos with Susan, and you don't really see that a lot with the Doctor in the TV show. This one's clearly like an early tourist, if that makes any sense. So back to the plot. The Argyons, again, if I'm probably keep changing the pronunciation, I do apologise for that, starts taking stuff from the TARDIS because they believe it's a threat. And what happens then, and this will then have them trying to battle them a little bit to retrieve their stuff, which leaks out some time stuff, and which leads into the cliffhanger. Now that this cliffhanger this was a really good cliffhanger. For you see, time starts leaking out and they get trapped in a time, and it does that like effect where they keep repeating, and so what they do is repeat Carole Ann Ford, and at one point it's like just a line of screech. I thought that was a very good cliffhanger. So that's the end of part one. Part two starts with Susan in like a dream scene with a pet chair and weird white cyclops things chasing her, and she wants to get back to her home planet. It's very weird. But then she wakes up and it's revealed then, it's just a dream. So what happens then is that because of this time leak from part one, part two actually has them on the moon, thousands of years after the first episode, and it turns out that the Argyons were actually trying to put life on Earth so they can control. Now the experiment went wrong, and thanks to the Doctor, Susan and Stoyn trapping them with the TARDIS, that life was allowed to just go on its own, and we got humans. Hooray! The human beings, that is us, I think. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you, not me. Not quite. So, and then what happens then is that there's this whole rambling that Susan learns about Earth, and she finds it fascinating. I wasn't quite keen on the idea of her learning Earth this way, and the Doctor as well, that humans made this video and then they watched and they were like, oh, this looks really fascinating, I'd love to go there. I don't know, I would just like if they just turned up on Earth one day without any knowledge. I thought that would have been a much better idea. So, yeah. And then the Argyons try to destroy all life on Earth because they think it's chaotic. But then it turns out because of their chaotic, their evolution has evolved so much that they could actually take them down and have a missile head them back, which then crosses over. I know. So the Argyons they weren't really a great villain. They just were sort of there, which is a shame because they had a really cool idea, these blob things that can steal your appearance, but they didn't really do anything in terms of plot-wise or have any hidden meanings or anything. Stoyn, I thought, was a great villain. He didn't seem like a baddie. He just seemed like a very nervous person. And Stoyn then gets trapped on the moon whilst the Doctor and Susan leave. And that's how the story ends. So there you go. So overall, the beginning is a great. It's a pretty good story. It's not amazing, but it'll pass. So there you are. That's my first Doctor Who review. I do apologise. It's all over the place. Hopefully next time will be better. I'll write some notes or something. I don't know. That's what that's what this journey's all about. So join me next time, and hopefully this will get better. See you later.